Yo, what's going on? Bobcancount here. We're back. This is a late night shoot. Thursday night is like 2 a.m. I was trying to shoot it earlier, couldn't get it in, couldn't get it in. So here we are, late night, off a buzzball. Because what I'm about to go over is something I really kind of don't even want to cover all the way. I'm not gonna. There's certain names I'm not gonna say throughout this video, but I'm gonna go deep into Zorro Ranch with you guys. Probably that'll be one of the things we go over at the end. We're gonna go over the Epstein emails that just got released. A lot of emails came out, man. We're gonna go over what else we got on the list today. Before we get into it, let me ease into this, guys. Sorry, I am nervous today. There is not a good amount of people watching, but there's a couple people that enjoy watching, so I try to do my best. I don't want to put out bad content like that, and I know I got to put it out weekly, and it can get a little stressful. So, yeah, we're gonna talk about the emails, and then what else we got on the list today for us? Zorro Ranch. Um, then we got some videos in Israel. I want to go over. We're gonna go over the ballroom that's being built and all the symbolism within the ballroom and keyword hacking. So let's get into keyword hacking real quick before we bounce on and get even crazier. So there's a lot of technology you don't know about that's gate kept. Okay, let me move this since it's shaking. There's there's a lot of technology that isn't mainstream that you don't know about, that you won't ever get your hands on, that you don't even know exist. And there's certain tools that have been created for people in power to use these so-called hacks. And it's called keyword hacking. And I'm going to show you a couple examples of this. Here's a quick example. So this is a bit more on the loony side, and then I'm going to show you guys one keyword hacking event that recently happened. So the one that's a bit more loony and a bit more far-fetched is there's a conspiracy that Walt Disney was frozen below Disney. He frozen his body. I guess a viral book came out about freezing your body 2 years before he died, something in that realm. And some people like to think that he froze himself. And what I mean by keyword hacking, so Disney releases a movie called Frozen. So whenever someone searches up the word Frozen or the movie Frozen, that Walt Disney search is buried. Now I want to show you a recent event that they used this on. I don't know if you remember about the OF models that were getting flown out to Dubai, and with all the powerful Saudi leaders, and they had a lot of stuff getting. Some of the girls were getting killed. Some of there was a lot of weird shit going on, and this is kind of funny. A lot of the women claimed they got defecated on. They got shit on. So the key word hack they came out with to bury that news and to bury that entire thing. Guess what came out in that exact timing to cover that? The Dubai chocolate. It's so you guys remember the Dubai chocolate that was just going viral, right? That happened to just go out at like what would even make that go viral? Like, okay, cool. It's I guess. I don't know. I know that was stored by them to definitely be used for a situation that they would need to cover something up. And it's so funny because it just fits so perfectly. All the OF models are running back. The ones that live are running back saying they're getting shit on. Next thing you know, the Dubai chocolate's going viral on TikTok. And now next thing you know, you can't even search. The girl's getting shit on. All that shit is buried. You know why? Dubai chocolate. Keyword hacking. And there's more examples of keyword hacking that they use it to bury the truth. They'll bring something, they'll make a movie about something, and they'll put it out there, and then now it's buried. So I just wanted to show you guys keyword hacking. I don't know if you've heard about it or thought about it. I'm sure you guys know there's crazy technology out there that goes on. But I just wanted to give you guys some inside info on one of their little escape routes, their digital escape routes they can use. Trump, 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 Trump. New Epstein emails released. Crazy. I mean, come on, man. We know Trump's a trafficker. We know he was a part of the whole. We know he's a dirty guy. And one of the emails that got released just now, it was talking about how Epstein said he's met a lot of evil guys, and there's not one good gene in this Trump guy. Not one. That was in one of the emails that recently got released. There was also an email released that showed Hillary Clinton was with some guy. I don't know. She cheated on her husband. That was another email that was released. It was kind of in between. Like there wasn't anything too crazy, but there was an email talking about how Trump was at one of the houses, one of Epstein houses with the girl Virginia Giuffori, whatever, however you say her name. I'm sure I just butchered that. And he was over there at her house for hours, and I guess that girl said Trump didn't touch her or whatever. Who knows? I don't know the story. You don't ever really know the real cream and potatoes because she could have got paid a $50 million bag under the table just to not talk about him. So, but she can talk about the others. So she may have been paid off by a specific person and not talk about that specific person, but she'll still go out and tell her truth. And that way she probably feels like, okay, it's justifiable. I don't got to work again. I get the 50 M's and then I get to go expose everyone else. So no, she didn't say that Trump did anything to her, but Epstein was talking about how he was at her house chilling while she was there. But what's funny is there is an email about Ghislaine Maxwell lying about how Trump never went to Epstein's house. She directly contradicted by her email correspondence with Epstein, and she was rewarded for that lie with a transfer to a cushier prison. The cover up is 100% happening in plain sight because she came out, said what she had to say about Trump, basically said, "Hey, he's clean. He's not as evil. He's not this. He's not all the people. He's not the main guy that was taking the private trips. He's not the main guy." And even though he was. So, and she said that to get a nice little cushy Fed camp. And at the Fed camp, there's been reports about how she gets treated like she's a queen. Phones go down, prison guards make sure she's able to connect and call whoever. They bring in computers for her. She's still talking and connecting with whoever she wants to connect with outside of that camp. And the only difference between that camp and the outside world she's living in is there's a gate, and that's about it because she can do whatever the hell she wants there. And I'm pretty sure Trump probably will pardon her before he's out if she doesn't off herself, which I don't think she will. She is because her name does hold a lot of weight and ring a lot of bells, partly because of her dad was one of the greatest spies of all time for Mossad. And his death is a little weird because they said he was on a yacht and he ended up dying on the yacht. I don't know if it was a suicide or ever. They like to say suicide. I'm not sure if it was suicide, but he died on his yacht. So who knows if he even died? It could have been a cover up. He could have ran off. But right after he died, Epstein's trust got a shit ton of money. right after he died, and then next thing you know, Epstein's dating Ghislaine, and then you got this love group, this power love group. Sure, Ghislaine got him tied to Mossad, but Epstein's already Zionist, so he probably didn't even need the tie from Ghislaine to Mossad. But she definitely had the connects, and she was powerful, and she was in the trafficking camp of bringing in kids. Also, she used to work at Disney. Back in the day, she was a talent scout at Disney, and there's around 100 kids every year that go missing from Disney. And some people like to believe there's tunnels below Disney, but there kind of has to be, because there's so much surveillance and so much people walking around. It's got to be one of those things where you got tunnels in the bathrooms, or there's got to be some type of shit going on, because it's not that easy to just pick up a kid and run out the building and run out the amusement park. It can't be that simple. It's got to be a little more complex. And I do think that there are more underground tunnels and stations than there are to be believed. So 21 trillion has been vanished. Some people say military black budget, working on UFOs and reverse engineering crafts and new weapons and biochemical weapons and all this shit. That's where that 21 trillion went missing. But I think the real place that money has gone, a good chunk of it, is the underground tunnels and building underground cities and underground stations for the elites, for the powerful. So that's where I think a lot of that black budget money has gone. So it's just funny. I don't know how MAGA is gonna react to all this Trump news. How much more can you take from this guy? How much more? Because it's gonna get to a point. And there was an email. Jeffrey Epstein was talking about Peter Thiel in these emails, talking about, "I'll see you in 3 weeks." That was a lot of fun. So what kind of fun can you do with Epstein? Let's think about it. What type of guy is Epstein? You hit up Epstein to go hang out and have fun. I'm pretty sure there's only a couple ways you can have fun with Epstein. I don't think he's really going to waste his time and go to a bowling alley or go ice skating or fishing. I don't think Epstein's one of those type of guys that you go and have that type of fun with. So yeah, Peter Thiel was in the emails, and Peter Thiel was on a Joe Rogan podcast, and he was talking about, Joe Rogan brought up, "So how do you know Peter Thiel?" Or I mean, "How do you know Jeffrey Epstein? Where'd you meet Jeffrey Epstein?" "Oh, I met him in Silicon Valley." And Rogan's like, "Well, what type of guy? Who'd they say he was when you met him?" Um, "Oh, he was a tax guy. The guy knew all the loopholes in the tax system." And it's taken him like a minute and a half to answer the two sentences he used in that question. And he's stuttering and he doesn't know what to say. And he gets it out and he says, "I hung out with Epstein to get tax advice." Tax advice. I mean, I'm sure he did know tax loopholes. I'm sure he did. That was probably maybe one of his. That may have been how he finessed Peter Thiel. I don't know, but Peter Thiel is gay, so I don't know. It couldn't have been he was bringing women to Peter Thiel. I mean, it could have been younger boys, whatever. I'm not saying that's what happened, because that's just uh accusations. That's not factual. Okay, we know this guy is the all-seeing eye right now with his Palantir technology. So no, I don't think 100%. But Peter Thiel had ties with that Stein guy, and that interview with Rogan was just so cringe. It hurt to watch that, man. It did, because you just know that guy is just so crooked. So we'll see what happens with Ghislaine and the I hope I'm saying her name right, because anytime I say something, it's damn near I stutter, or I mess the word up, and then I get ridiculed in the comments and I get destroyed, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, damn. I know it's bad when the comment that's roasting me gets 1,500 likes or some shit, and then that's almost half of what the post got. So I'm trying with the words. I'm trying. I know the message is good. I get that, but the words sometimes need to. The message will be a bit better. But yeah, the Trump guy got some greasy fingers. Here's a video of Trump's daughter, saying he's a predator. Let me pull this up for you guys.
You know about sexual predators and things like that.
Right.
I mean,
you
sure.
are one.
All right, I was going to say that, but it's true.
Yeah, he's on Howard Stern, and sexual predator gets brought up, and his daughter next to him. Ha 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 ha! You are one. So we grab her by the all the that shit isn't even that crazy. That's why he says shit like that, because that really isn't even that crazy. Grab her by the all that shit, that locker room talking, all that shit he just openly is about. It's not even that wild compared to the shit he actually does. So I don't know why this is even a surprise for some people. There's videos of him and Epstein watching girls dance. I know you guys, that video always is hard to find, but him and Epstein just sitting there watching the young girls dancing, and Epstein over there making Trump making comments over to Epstein dancing up and down and shit. Like, bro, fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. So I hope the ploy though, this is the thing that's dangerous about this whole thing with Trump though. I'll tell you what's dangerous about it, because I know there's some people that are anti-Trump that are celebrating. And I want to tell you to hold your horses on celebrating. Because say Trump gets impeached, which he should, because we seen Bill Clinton get impeached for way less. He cheated on his wife, got impeached. This is a whole different ball game. Even though that's probably only the tip of the iceberg too. They just got him out of there. There was probably more stuff with the Clintons anyways. I don't even want to that was a crazy I can't believe I just defended a Clinton. But the Trump guy should get impeached 100%. 100%. Get him out of there. And the guy who's up next is JD Vance. And what's dangerous, if Trump gets impeached and they put JD Vance there, he's Elon Musk's guy, Peter Thiel's guy. All these big tech guys that you got: Elon, cars, robotics, Wi-Fi, space, Peter Thiel, AI, surveillance, social credit scores. So those will be front run by JD Vance, which will push all those narratives through because he's in bed with all them. And I think it could get a lot worse, but I don't think Trump's going to get impeached though. He's in with the most powerful people on earth. He's in with deep state. They gave Trump one of the crowns. Let me pull it up for you guys. He actually got one of the crowns. So, 163 rabbis pulled up on Trump in 2024 to deliver the silver crown of the Torah. And they don't give the only people they would give the silver crown to, they would crown the silver crown, put it on top of their head, is their Messiah. They believe Trump is their Messiah. Okay? And they pulled up to his golf course and personally handed that to them. And in Christianity, Israel's Messiah is what we call the Antichrist. So we could very well be seeing Donald Trump. Donald Trump could possibly be the Antichrist. And it's very possible that he is the last president, because I don't think he's getting out. I don't think they got the power to get him out of office. Deep state has him all the way in right now. He's their guy. He's going to make sure they take and cleanse Gaza and totally destroy Gaza and wipe it out and get rid of all the Palestinians. Israel is a real threat to possibly be the front runners in the ultimate supreme global power. and they got Trump at the front runner doing it. And it's just it's scary. It's scary. It honestly is scary times. I not necessarily doomsday, but it's too late to unravel and undo what's already happened. It's too late. By the time we realize it is too late, and it's going to get to a point eventually where we're not going to even be able to talk about it. I won't even be able to talk about it. It won't be able to go on the internet. And if this whole thing does erupt, let's just say it erupts, backlash happens, the people get sick of it, you got something called the Samson Project. And I'm not all the way researched on the Samson Project, but I do know that if nukes go off, or if Israel is about to get taken out and they're on their last line of defense, they will destroy themselves and everyone else before they go extinct. It's called the Samson Project. You can look at you can look it up. And Israel does have nukes, and they are pointed everywhere, and we gift them nukes. So don't. It's too late to try to get them to unravel what they've done, unless it's a full clean out of all politicians. But like I said, too late. Uh, so let's get on to the next thing. Let's get on to the next thing. And this is funny too. So Trump's building a ballroom, and the ballroom's being funded by a lot of the people we just talked about with the hats. It's privately funded. It's not coming from our tax dollars. Cool. But the ballroom, isn't that a little weird? Ballroom, BAALBALL, the ballroom. And what they're planning to do is the ballroom, they're going to build an underground. This is where they're going to put their conscious AI, their sentient AI. So all the scrolling we do on our phone and how we feel and how we think, our phone is picking that up, grasping that, and they're sending it back to the honey, to the queen bee of AI conscious, and it's storing all of our thoughts and it's bringing everything in. And that's how they know, and that's how AI is able to know how we think and how we feel and how we operate. It's not necessarily just right putting in script after script after script. It doesn't work like that. It would take you too long to try to code a conscious AI that way. The only way to do that is front run all of our conscious and all of our thoughts and put it into one. And that's what I believe they're building below the ballroom. And there is a lot of symbolism with this ballroom. I want to show you guys. They're paying $3,330 per square foot. Okay, that's already not even close to the normal price. I know you're going to pay more to build a section of the White House anyways. You want the best guys to come lay the groundwork and build the whole structure. You need the best guys. So I'm not saying pay your bottom dollar, but 3,330 square feet. Okay, that's a little weird. That equals 90,000 square feet, which will cost 300 million. So you see 369, 333, 369. That is how you make those numbers are connected to hexagrams, pentagrams, ritual magic, those numbers. So it's all throughout that ballroom getting built. Now the main thing, we know they're building something under the ballroom. We know that for a fact. I told you I believe they're building their AI consciousness under there to make the decisions. That's what it'll eventually get put into. But at the moment, they're saying it's an underground database center. Feel like you can kind of build that anywhere. You can go dig up somewhere, and because I know you want to do it underground to keep it cool. So like super strong computers, quantum computing, it has to be cool. That's why Elon Musk was talking about if we build quantum computers, it would be smart to build them on the moon because we could do them in the crater and then it would keep them automatically cooled. But his dumbass didn't keep into the account that you got to run it back to Earth. So shit, it's probably damn near the same speed as your Ethernet, just going on regular internet. Uh, Unless quantum computer can figure out a way to directly get it there, but I don't think it could do that unless you figure out how to warp space and time and send a frequency through that, and then it can pick up what. There might be a way, but anyways, Elon don't know that. But so Israel also built an underground database for around the same price, 300 and it was like around 320 million. So this is in the same ballpark of how Israel just built their underground database. Now, who knows if that's even an actual underground database, but probably whatever they built is whatever we're building, claims our database. So, like I said, the ballroom is sketch. The people donating are the same people that got the other one built in Israel. Um, so it's just funny, and they're so obsessed with this symbolism. Like Trump's tower is built exactly 666 feet. And there was a guy that studied Trump's genealogy, and they said his bloodline is fully Jewish. So I mean, you the people that you see are so peculiar with numbers, from even the tower being built, that you want it in exact square footage of 666. That right there in itself is Kabbalah. So Trump's been tied in. I know I've said there was someone in office with him that said he converted in 2017, but it's probably been long before that. He's probably always been tied in, just like the Saudis. But I'm not even gonna go there today with the Saudis. Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, he owns a tower at 666 Avenue. So more symbolism. Why are they so obsessed with this? Like, why can't you just go and get a normal building, bro? Like, or are all these points on the coordinates connected to an underground tunnel base or database, or is it connected to something? Is there more energy at these specific geological locations? What is going on, and what is their obsession with their even the inches and the feet of the building having symbolism? Wild, wild, wild. So I this is now this is the part I really did want to get into, guys. I really did. I really did. And I did a good amount of reading on it, as much as I could, because a lot of it isn't on the internet. It's not. So I gotta scrape what I can, and then I gotta separate the fugazi, the bullshit, from the real, and then I gotta connect certain things to make sure they're connected. And something that has a lot of connections with a lot of undeniable proof is Zorro Ranch. Zorro Ranch was an address of Epstein. Zorro Ranch is a place in New Mexico. And we know the history of New Mexico, which I'll go into. And people, a lot of, and there is a lot of proof on this. People think Epstein ran a eugenic program at Zorro Ranch, and and there is a reason it never got raided by the FBI. There's a reason that whole place got swept under the rug. I'm gonna go into a couple of those reasons. So Epstein bought the land from a former governor of New Mexico, and that land was totally encircled by the governor's own property. So no law enforcement could ever approach that property because it's in a circle. So you got Epstein's Zorro Ranch plot of land right in the middle, and then you got the governor's property, the old governor. I think he got out of office in 2011. Completely all the way around it. So if someone did want to come on, you can't just come on there. You're walking onto the governor's land, and you know not to mess with the governor. because he governs the land. The ranch itself had its own airstrip. So there were elites that were able to fly in, easy access. You didn't have to take the road there. It was just quick in and out. You came you pulled up and you got what you came for. It was even big enough for jets. And the flight logs rarely mention anyone that's flown in, and you know how serious of a violation it is to not mark and not keep track of flight logs. Very serious violation, and there's no flight logs. So I'm gonna show you guys a picture of Zorro, and there's a field to the left that almost looks like a crop circle. You got that field right there. That right there is an old missile silo that was restructured, reformed to an underground bunker. And in that underground bunker, he had a genetics lab on one floor, a baby farm on another floor, and a hospital on the third floor. And they think Epstein was trying to build his own race, his own what he would call perfect genetic race. And he's even been quoted talking about how he's wanted to have 20 women impregnated at the same time, and he was obsessed with his own DNA. A lot of Jewish people believe their DNA is the master of all DNAs within the human race. They think they have the master genetics, the special genetics, the chosen one genetics. So he was probably trying to take other specific bloodlines and mix. And there's a reason why I tell people do not go and get your genetics tested by 23andMe or all these other genetic labs, because they're owned by certain people, the same people connected to him. And if they see you have a rare bloodline or you have rare genetics, you are at risk. And if you're not at risk, your possible future kids are at risk. Especially if you're connected to a rare bloodline, like let's just say Geronimo, one of the greatest Indian fighters of all time, that Bush went and dug up his grave, and they went and they drank out of his skull. Like getting his genetics, getting his DNA, finding someone from his bloodline, and then mixing it with his. But I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure Jewish people don't like to mix their DNA outside of other Jewish DNA. So I'm pretty sure there probably is rare Jewish DNA bloodlines, as in the Khazars. I'm not sure if I might be butchering that. There are rare Jewish bloodlines he may have been trying to mix with. Regardless, he was mixing. And there's been reports that there was a baby farm. And I'm not going to get too deep into the baby farm. It's kind of dark. Just basically, you're making humans with no tag on them. Simple as I could say that. So they're making humans with no tags, no social security. So technically, they're invisible. They're nobody. No one's gonna look for them. You can do it. It's just so. I'll keep that at a minimum, and you can kind of ponder yourself from there. And then the third level, obviously, like you could so-called say a hospital or whatever, most likely where they would bring in certain people to come get stitched up, or possibly where they would bring doctors to have in, or surgeons where they would bring in organ harvested body parts and then put them into the elites, and then they're healed up, ready to go. Like one of the recent Rothschilds had 13 heart transplants or some crazy shit like that I was reading about. Where do you think he got those done at? No, I'm not saying he got them done at Zorro Ranch, but I'm just saying there's places like this that exist. So yeah, Zorro Ranch gets crazy. And he always would talk about how he wants to seed humanity with his DNA to make the perfect human. He's the perfect human. And there was a former staffer that claimed Zorro had underground rooms bigger than houses or tunnels. So it just wasn't a tunnel. And other insider accounts, people were confronted by a 6-foot tall nude portrait of Ghislaine Maxwell wielding a gold dagger as they rode the elevator into the bunker. Now, no official records confirm the Ghislaine Maxwell um, statue, but shit, I wouldn't put it past it. Like, what are you gonna lie about that for? So that right there is crazy. And I did hear about on Little James, the Little James Island, Epstein Island, about how one of the maids was talking about how there was a massive underground tunnel and like through like the side of the mountain you could enter and it was just like a massive whole bunker. Like the top was just the front, like the little symbolism building, evil satanistic building he had up top. That was just an elevator to go down. I don't even know if that thing even worked or if that thing you could even go down there, but the real entrance was on the side of the tunnel. That's what the maid was talking about. There was a guy that said he worked IT. And he controlled all the systems between 2001 and 2006. And he was talking about how the politicians would fly in, the elite people would fly in for a getaway at the cowboy team village they had at Zorro Ranch. So they had a section that was built where it was like retro buildings. It was just like an older, free, I guess he tried to make it like a free will, free vibe area. Because I'm sure back in cowboy Western era, you could probably just really do whatever you want. And if someone came and didn't like what you were doing, you just get them gone, get out the way. So they got the vibe Western era. They got to live through that, and they would have the younger women and younger men come and cater them at this cowboy village. And one of the main one of the main couples that would pull up, the IT guy said was the Clintons. And he was talking about how they would pull up straight from the White House. Boom. They'd be in there for a weekend just chilling. And I'm sure Epstein would have his little servers and waiters and just making sure Clintons are taken care of. And he ran all the cameras and all the systems and everything was recorded. So it's just crazy. And I'm not too worried about the Clintons because they think Hillary's locked up anyways at the place that they sent the Malaysia Airlines, man. Not is it Guantanamo Bay? It's one of those. But they say she's locked up anyways, and one of those, yeah, where they put her up because that lady right there is a motherfucking problem. Better watch what you motherfucking say about the Clintons. But I was scrolling, and I'm deep digging. I'm deep digging on Zorro. This man claimed his brother installed the HVAC ducting while working for a company called Miller Bonded around 1996 and 1997. He said the only thing that the place was for some Victoria's Secret secret bigwig, and that it was creepy and to just leave it alone and do your job and get out. So, and there was people that would pull up, like not necessarily just on flight, but they would pull up and when they would get out, the bystanders or people that were being nosy would be like, "Yo, this guy's got to be with Victoria's Secret or something because he's got models on tons of models just every day, every night coming out the van. Who is this guy?" So I don't know if he did to end up telling, like, if that was something he would say, like he was a part of Victoria's Secret or whatever. But man, that Zorro Ranch thing is crazy. The dude only had to pay like I think it was like 200 a month for all them acres, and he must have had some type of crazy blackmail on the governor. But a thing about New Mexico's been crazy. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I'm just gonna say it again. I'll edit it out if not. But New Mexico's a place that's been known to study outside the norm, you could say. You got Area 51, you got Area S4, you got secret bases inside mountains. This is all in New Mexico. So New Mexico's they specialize over there in going underground, going in tunnels, going in rocks, going in cliffs. So this is a spot that a lot of weird shit does go on at. And back in the day, a lot of spies got sent to New Mexico. And they were there to go and try to steal secrets because they said that the atomic bomb was also getting built in New Mexico. And then you got all these reverse engineering technology black projects we got. So they would send spies there. So the New Mexico has been a weary place. Two of Ghislaine Maxwell workers were politicians for New Mexico. So, like I said, there's a reason that that place didn't get raided. I'm sure there was probably some type of kill switch or something underground that could just set the whole thing on fire, and then they'll send guys through and fill up the whole place with cement or just fill it up. I'm sure they got some type of compound they could throw down in there that expands, and then you won't even be able to see what was even ever in there. And what's funny is most of the people that Epstein would hire to build his underground bunkers and his bases and to add on, it's like I said, that was already a silo. That Zorro property was a missile silo. It was just he added on to it and built from it. But the people he would contract and have build these structures were people from other countries. He would fly them in. I'm sure he would have all the material set up. He probably had someone go grab the material they need, go get in contact with them, and then just send them down here. Don't ask no questions. Don't speak much of the language. Don't know much of the history. Just naive. They build what they need to build. Get them gone. That is how a lot of underground shit is built. Okay, from other people from other countries that are naive to our history. Okay, so they probably wouldn't think that the crazy shit they're building is for crazy shit. Well, I don't know. It probably got to be because I've heard there's some crazy underground shit. And Zorro Ranch might all be connected to every base. It might be connected to S4. It's the whole Vegas might be connected underground. I I have it's possible that could be the underground like that could be the spot for the US. Like I don't know if you've seen seen the show about how they had to go in the rock um below a catastrophe happened and they had to go in this rock below. This is where they lived. It was set up. It had like artificial sunlight, artificial grass, artificial everything. I don't even think it was artificial grass. I'm pretty sure they figured out how to um, have biological life and shit. Well, there goes that clip. Fuck that shit. Stupid ass shit. Awful motherfucking shit. Um. So yeah, New Mexico some got some crazy shit going on, man. You don't know what you're driving. You don't know what you're driving on top of. That's all I'm gonna say. And I hope I brought up the Powerball. I might have to bring this up. Yeah, let me bring up the Powerball because I don't know if I got this on there. So the Zorro Trust won an $85 million Powerball in 2008. The same day Jeffrey Epstein was incarcerated, they won the Powerball, that trust. 85 million. So I don't know if that was okay, we promise you didn't get locked up since you did. Here's some funny money. Boom. You'll get out of it. Nothing serious. 'Cause he didn't. I don't think the time he got arrested in 2008 was really when he didn't get any harsh sentence or anything. So they probably told him, listen, you get your light sentence. Here's your funny money. Get once you get out, you can continue what you're doing. Keep going. And that's how you know just the Powerball's rigged and everything. Maybe scratch offs you can get away with. Go play your $10, $20 scratch offs and shit. But like the mega Powerballs, those are hand selected. No question. Right. All right, let's get into the last part. The whole reason I even recranked this thing back up because we had 40 minutes. I went for an hour, so you're getting this last 20 minutes is like a redo, which is true because I was cooking first go. But I'm gonna finish off because I do got some Palestine supporters, and there is a couple videos I gotta show. I gotta show. I gotta. It wouldn't be right. But first, let's talk about alligator Alcatraz. So there's been a new report that two-thirds of the inmates have disappeared, vanished from alligator Alcatraz. There was 1,800 total. That leaves about 1,200 missing. Totally gone from ICE records. There's no trace of them. They're just gone. 1,200. Okay, that's kind of a lot. So maybe were they the 1,200 healthy, organ harvesting, or maybe were they just the 1,200 worst, and they sacrificed them ritualistically, or they killed them. And I'm going to tell you why I don't think they just flat out killed them, because that's a waste in their eyes. Ammo, oh, it just wouldn't be worth it. You could, I don't know. They're not killing them. That's not how it's going. They are killing them, but through rituals. But the main is the organ harvesting, because yeah, their skin color might be different, but guess what? You might have some strong organs, and it's worth taking that risk. And these elite people get work done. At an example, a place like Zorro Ranch that had a underground hospital where they would take the human organs that were trafficked, and they would go there and they'd put them in these elite people. Like one of the recent Rothschilds that lived to like 103 or some shit had 13 plus heart transplants. Where do you think he's getting all these hearts from? Where do you think he's getting them done at? And I'm sure Epstein's flying in the best doctors in the world, the best scientists in the world. He was friends with all of them. And you see what Bill Gates' wife said about Epstein. She said that was one of the main reasons she divorced Bill, was because of Epstein and all the evil shit that Epstein was up to, and how just of a disgusting man he was. And that Bill Gates being cool with him is just, it's not a good look. It's not a good look. So I I want to show you guys a video of there's American aid that was dropped off in Palestine. And there's a video of all these people bunched up together, ducked down, bullets flying past their head. You got guys in the sand crawling forward in the sand. Bullets are hitting the sand next to them. They're crawling forward, trying to get aid for their family, putting their whole life on the line, risking everything just for fresh food, water. And the crowd starts standing up, seeing them making progress towards the aid, and bullets start whizzing past them. They're going past the phone. Let me play the video for you guys. You got to be on some shit where you got to be like, you just hope it don't hit you. Because, I mean, you're all bunched up like that. You see the bullets start whizzing past the crowd, all this shit. And these people are just trying to survive. They're not trying to kill any Israelis. They don't have any weapons on them. They're just trying to get aid to survive. And you guys are toying with them. Toying with them, shooting in front of them, shooting at the crowd. It's sick. Sick. What do we even do there, guys? Oh, we let it happen. We support it. We give them money, fund it. We let them control it. We do what they say. And I don't know. There's another video I want to a video of IDF sniping a young boy for fun, and he's out there showing the boy just running with his little sister, and they're just out there running around. And next thing you know, boom, and then you hear the IDF soldiers laughing and shit. It's sick. It's sick. They don't care. They'll kill your whole family. They'll kill the children. They'll go in your house. They've been going viral because they'll wipe out the family, then they go in the family's house and they're putting on the women's clothes and dressing up and dancing with their clothes on after they just obliterated the family. And they think, oh, they're not they're painting a picture like it's not as bad as it is. And here's one stat that should change your mind. Israel has dropped 200,000 tons of explosives on Gaza since October 7th. Okay, you're thinking in your head, okay, 200,000 tons. Let me put it into perspective for you. That is equivalent to nearly 13 Hiroshima bombs. 13 times. They've dropped enough bombs 13 times the amount of what they put on Hiroshima. You know who dropped that Hiroshima bomb? A Freemason president that got put into the 33rd degree after that. After he dropped a nuke on a certain place that had a main topic of religion. That specific place wasn't random where they dropped that bomb. It wasn't random. Do your homework on that. Um so yeah, last thing I wanted to talk about. Tourists paid $70,000 to shoot innocent people on human safari trip. Children cost more. It has been revealed that a number of wealthy individuals paid militia groups in the Bosnian Wars 1992 to 1996 to visit Sarajevo and shoot civilians for sport. They flew from Trieste to Belgrade on the Serbian airline Aviogenics to be weekend snipers and join in the bloody siege. Reportedly paying between 70 and 90,000. Reports simply say children costed more. If you wanted to kill children, you got to pay higher dollar. The flight dubbed Sarajevo Safari are coming to light after multiple year-long investigation into a smuggling gang in Italy. Leading prosecutors said we were talking about wealthy people with reputations, businessmen, royalty, who during the siege of Sarajevo paid to kill unarmed civilians. They left Trieste for a manhunt and then returned their respectable daily lives. They believe around 100 tourists paid for the experience and prosecutions are now underway. Okay, this happens in all countries. This happens in all areas of war. This is going on. You'll see elites fly in, politicians fly in, people with money to waste. They're sociopaths. They don't give a fuck. Anyone in power that's at that type of power, they have that type of money, they kind of lose. They lose grasp. Okay, to say the least. So they say 100 tourists paid. I guarantee it was more. Uh, there's been other scenarios and conspiracies about basically a Hunger Games type of scenario where they'll go and they'll kidnap people from certain areas and then they'll bring them back to a certain spot, and then sometimes they'll arm them or give them a chance, give them small weapons, and then they pull out and they got their group of guys and their dune buggies and they go and hunt people. That's what they do. It gives them a rush. Gives them they feel unstoppable. They feel like they can do whatever they want. So they do shit like that. Don't be oblivious to what's going on out here. And that right there is sick. To just go in someone else's war zone and just run out there, think like you think it's already bad enough. Your country's going at it. Then you got these rich people from other countries pulling up, sniping you from distance, like for a vacation. You don't get any more twisted than that, then I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm signing out. I wish I didn't have to do this, but I missed the whole last uh 20 minutes, butchered it. So fuck this shit. But Bob can count, man. Appreciate you if you made it this long to the end of the video. Shout out to you. Subscribe if you're new. About it, Bob can count.